Hey beautiful Libra, let me ask you something bold right away. What if staying home alone this Sunday, November 9th, could cost you your destiny? This isn't a metaphor. This is a moment of alignment. A window that won't open twice. If you found your way here to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, it's not by chance. It's a response. A spiritual pingback from the universe that says, you're ready. And the time is now. This is your personal message. A deep soul horoscope designed just for you, Libra, the only zodiac sign ruled by the sacred scales of balance. And this Sunday, November 9th, those scales tip toward breakthrough. Or back into patterns. Toward becoming visible. Or staying in the shadows. Toward the future you've prayed for. Or the comfort zone that's already expired. You see, the energy of this day isn't just energetic. It's literal. It's personal. It's physical. This is not a day for hiding. It's not a day to isolate, to delay, or to wait until you feel ready. Because ready or not, Sunday is coming. And it's bringing a divine assignment with your name on it. Now maybe, like many Libras, you've been sensing something quietly shifting. Time moving slower. A strange pull to be somewhere, but you can't quite name it. That's not your imagination. That's divine timing whispering to your nervous system. There is something about to unlock for you, but only if you are seen. Only if you allow yourself to be witnessed in the real world, not just felt in your journal or in your mind. So breathe, Libra. You are not here to be small. You are not here to be invisible. You are not here to just survive the shift, you are here to anchor it. This Sunday, November 9th, you are being asked to step forward and let life respond to your frequency. This is not about forcing anything. It's about being available to receive the reflections that prove your transformation is real. The universe is not just watching. It's waiting. And it will not wait forever. So if you feel the pull of this message, don't ignore it. If this video found you at just the right time, consider it a sign, not just a nice one, but a necessary one. The timing is too precise to be random. And the transformation too big to be ignored. Let me take a moment to say this with full sincerity. Thank you for being here. Every view, every like, every comment, and every subscription you choose to share with this sacred space makes you part of something bigger. You're not just a viewer. You're part of this soul family. And Libra, trust me, you'll want to stay with me until the very last second of today's message. Because what the heavens are revealing is nothing short of breathtaking. So now, let me ask you this, and don't overthink it. What called you here today? Go ahead and comment below with the number 777 if you know this message found you for a reason. That's how we seal this energy. That's how we affirm you're listening. And more importantly, you're ready. Now, let's unlock what no one else has told you about this Sunday, November 9th. Some days don't just pass, they pivot. And for you, Libra, Sunday, November 9th is one of those days. You may not feel it in the way the sky looks or the wind moves, but your inner compass has already been sensing it. It's a vibrational threshold, a shift that completes a spiritual arc that began on November 1st and deepened on the 2nd. What was awakened within you during those earlier days was not meant to stay in the realm of energy, it was meant to take form. But here's the truth few understand: the universe can only anchor what you're willing to embody. November 9th is not about beginnings alone, it's about endings that have prepared the soil for new life. In numerology, the number 9 speaks to completion, release, and surrender. It asks, what are you finally ready to leave behind, once and for all? While 9 whispers of endings, 11, the energy behind the date itself, is a master number. It opens gateways. It speaks to divine intelligence, inner knowing, and the kind of awareness that doesn't come from logic, but from resonance. Together, 9 and 11 create a perfect paradox, letting go so you can walk through. That's why this day is a spiritual crossroad, a frequency fork in your timeline. What you've longed for, visualized, or quietly prayed about throughout October is now sitting at the threshold, waiting for your action to open the door. But energy doesn't just pour through intention. It flows when intention meets embodiment. And embodiment, Libra, requires movement. It requires you to step forward, not just emotionally, but physically, into spaces where the new version of you can be seen, acknowledged, and mirrored. You weren't meant to remain suspended between who you were and who you're becoming. That liminal space, as sacred as it may be, is only meant to be a passage, not a home. The gift of this day is that it clarifies the path forward. Not in loud ways. Not through signs in the sky. But through the subtle confirmations that come when you're brave enough to show up. It might be a stranger's unexpected kindness, a conversation that shifts your mindset, or simply the way your own body feels when you say yes to being present in the world. These are small, sacred validations, and they carry the weight of confirmation from a higher order. Some people might think they need to wait for a perfect moment. But what if the perfect moment is always hidden inside your willingness to participate? If you've been wondering whether your quiet faith, your deep healing work, your efforts to change really matter, November 9th will answer you. But only if you're willing to meet life halfway. This day asks you to walk into the promise, not just dream about it. Even in the chaos of modern life, where schedules are full and silence is rare, there's still a deeper rhythm guiding you. And if you're still enough to listen, you'll hear it say, you are safe to choose something new. This is not about pressure. It's about partnership, you and life, co-creating together. There's a lesson here that echoes from the teachings of grace itself. Sometimes, miracles aren't loud. They come gently. They arrive as invitations. You won't always see the sky split open or hear angels sing. But you might feel your chest open a little more when you say yes to the unknown. You might notice peace where there used to be anxiety. You might witness clarity replacing confusion, just because you decided to show up even if you didn't have it all figured out. So let November 9th be the day you stop waiting to become and start being. Let it be the day your prayers find form. Let it be the moment you walk not away from the past, but toward the future you've quietly been preparing for. And if you feel even a flicker of resonance with these words, take that as your sign. This is your frequency shift. This is your spiritual intersection. And you are exactly where you're meant to be. When everything in the sky begins to shift, your inner world often starts shifting first. That subtle restlessness you felt, the tug toward movement, connection, or simply doing something differently that isn't random. It's resonance. As Mercury moves closer to Sagittarius, the energy of expansion becomes louder, bolder, less interested in overthinking and more drawn to truth and motion. This is not a time to hide behind indecision, Libra. It's a cosmic invitation to participate. Sagittarius asks for clarity through directness. It wants you to speak up, show up, and move even if the path isn't fully mapped. And that's the point. This energy isn't asking you to have the answers. It's asking you to be available for revelation. Meanwhile, the Sun is slowly completing its journey through Scorpio and edging towards Sagittarius, that delicate space between shadow and vision. Scorpio teaches us to look beneath, to face what we might avoid, and to transform through emotional truth. Sagittarius carries that transformed energy outward, channeling it into vision, optimism, and bold declarations of faith. When these two archetypes overlap even briefly, it creates an energy of exposure. The truth that's been gestating beneath the surface finally wants to breathe, speak, be seen. And Libra, this Sunday, you are part of that emergence. Add to this the rare convergence of Venus and the asteroid Psyche, a deeply personal invitation for soul-level healing in relationships. Psyche carries the mythology of enduring trials for love, for integration, for wholeness. And Venus, your ruling planet, governs beauty, affection, connection, and values. Together, they're whispering this to you: it's time to be vulnerable. To let others truly see you, not just the version of you that keeps the peace. Healing doesn't always happen in solitude. Sometimes, it requires another's eyes. A mirror. A voice that says, yes, I see your truth and I'm still here. As a Libra, your core blueprint revolves around relationship. Not just romance, but all reflections, the sacred dance of self and other. Your growth unfolds through connection, balance, response. So when these planetary energies combine in this way, you're not being asked to isolate and go inward. You're being invited to engage, to exchange, to co-regulate with the world around you, not to fix anything, but to affirm who you are becoming. This is why staying home alone on November 9th might quietly disconnect you from an alignment the universe has been orchestrating on your behalf. When astrological tides rise like this, they don't necessarily bring a wave of dramatic events. Instead, they bring opening small cracks in your routine where the right word, the right person, the right opportunity might arrive. But you have to be present for it. You have to be seen. Life is not asking you to be perfect. It's asking you to be reachable. The most powerful connections don't always come through grand gestures. Often, they come through subtle collisions, moments that feel ordinary at first but become holy in hindsight. A barista smiles at you longer than expected. A friend brings up a conversation you were afraid to start. A stranger tells you exactly what you needed to hear, without knowing it. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations that you're on the path, that your energy is shifting, that you are, in fact, becoming. So if you feel pulled to go out, to share your presence, to risk being seen, trust it. That nudge is not a distraction. It's alignment in motion. Even when life feels busy, messy, or uncertain, there is room to respond to what's sacred. Sometimes, that's what faith looks like in real life, showing up even when you don't have the full plan. Saying yes to the moment. Believing that the right encounter will unfold not because you chase it, but because you are willing to walk toward it. There are moments in life when silence carries more than stillness, it carries misalignment. And if Sunday, November 9th feels like one of those days you could just stay home, this is your gentle reminder not to. Because the messages coming through your energy field are not just symbolic. They are directional. The cards for this day, the Lovers, the Star, and Two of Wands, are not just random pulls from a deck. They are a synchronized sequence, designed to move you from prayer into presence, from longing into choice. The Lovers card doesn't simply speak about romance. That's a surface reading. At its core, this card is about choice, sacred alignment through reflection. It appears when you are standing at a fork in your emotional or energetic path, and it asks, will you choose connection? Will you choose the mirror that sees your soul, not just your face? This connection could be a person, yes, but it might also be a place, a conversation, or a moment so precise that it awakens something ancient within you. And you won't find it staring at your phone. You'll find it by entering the world, physically. Because this isn't about imagining love or alignment, it's about encountering it. The Star enters next with a vibration of still hope. Not naive hope, but the kind you've earned, the kind you whisper into the dark when no one's listening. It's the card that says, you were heard. Even when you didn't know who was listening. This is the reply to your unspoken prayers. The dreams you quietly planted back in October, the soft surrender in your heart after a long internal battle. The Star is the universe showing you that it was never ignored. But here's the deeper truth: answered prayers often come disguised as opportunity. And if you don't show up to the door when it knocks, you may never know how close you were. And finally, Two of Wands. The card of threshold and courage. This is where most people hesitate, the energy of preparation without motion. The Two of Wands stands on the balcony with a map in one hand and the world in the other. They're dressed, ready, aware. But still watching. Still waiting for the right moment. But here's the thing. The right moment is often on the other side of the first step. The card whispers, step out. Step forward. Even if you don't know the full plan. You don't need to. You just need to go. And for Libra, who thrives in mental balance and inner harmony, this moment is less about logic and more about listening to the subtle pull that says, your new life won't meet you in the old room. If these cards resonate with something stirring in you, that's not accidental. That's design. And when we look at how real transformation takes root, it rarely happens when we feel completely ready. It happens when we move anyway, when we choose trust over delay. In life, sometimes the person you meet, the cafe you almost didn't walk into, the stranger you smiled at, becomes the very thread that unravels a pattern or opens a blessing. Those small nudges? They are how the universe works most often. So if you're feeling drawn to go somewhere on the 9th, even if you don't know why, honor that. And remember this: answered prayers do not always burst through the clouds. Sometimes, they show up as timing, eye contact, or a simple word that stirs your heart at just the right second. But they do require your participation. This Sunday is not just a date. It's a door. One that opens if you're willing to walk toward it. Most transformations don't fail because they weren't real. They fade because they weren't witnessed. What happens within you, the shift you feel, the clarity that arrives after deep reflection, the energetic activation you may have experienced around November 1st, all of it lives in a state of potential. In quantum language, it's called superposition. Multiple outcomes exist at once, each waiting for one moment of interaction, reflection, or recognition to collapse into one clear reality. That moment, for you, arrives on November 9th. And that moment can only unfold if you are willing to be seen. This isn't about validation in a superficial sense. It's about energetic reinforcement. When a person steps out as their new self, the energy they carry is fragile at first, not because it's weak, but because it hasn't yet rooted itself in the physical world. Our nervous systems, our minds, and even our cellular memory look to the outside world for confirmation. When someone sees you, truly sees the shift you've made, your body receives it as real. It stops questioning and starts integrating. The change becomes lived rather than just imagined. This is why being around others matters so deeply on days of anchoring like November 9th. Without interaction, without external reflection, the new frequency you've been working so hard to embody can feel like a dream you start to forget as you wake up. That dream fades not because it wasn't sacred, but because it had no mirror. And energy, just like love or trust or purpose, needs somewhere to land. Without that landing, it floats. And eventually, it drifts. There's a simple, quiet truth here. We become real through relationship, through community, through presence. Just as a smile means little when unseen, your new identity remains incomplete until someone reflects it back to you. Not through dramatic fanfare, but through subtle, powerful moments. A look that lingers. A conversation that flows more easily than expected. A small sign that someone senses the shift, even if they can't name it. These are the cues your body has been waiting for to know it is safe to evolve. Even in the teachings of everyday faith, we find the same pattern. Transformation is rarely solitary. Even miracles, especially the quiet, daily kind, tend to happen in the presence of others. That's not a coincidence. It's part of the design. Because healing is not just a private process. It's a collective rhythm. A sacred echo that gains power when shared. So if you felt like no one sees you, like the version of you that's growing can't find its reflection yet, let November 9th be your pivot. Let it be the day you allow the universe to respond to what's blooming inside you. Go where you can be visible. Not because you need attention, but because your evolution needs anchoring. Not because your worth is in the eyes of others, but because your timeline needs a witness. And if you're wondering whether it matters, it does. If you're thinking it might be easier to stay in, to wait for one more sign, to let the day pass quietly, know that this hesitation is part of the pattern you're here to break. And the way to break it is simple: be seen. Let yourself be mirrored. Let the shift become real. You don't have to announce it. You don't have to explain. Just show up as you. As the new frequency you've been carrying inside. And life with all its subtle brilliance will begin to reflect it back. Not instantly, not all at once. But enough to let your soul know, yes, this is real. You made it. And you're no longer who you were. Sometimes the most extraordinary days don't announce themselves with noise, they reveal themselves in the quiet choices you make. November 9th isn't just circled on the cosmic calendar because of its alignments or energetic weight. It matters because what you choose to do with it will determine what actually stays with you. Not everything you've been healing, praying, or aligning toward will remain unless you decide to give it roots. And Libra, this is exactly what November 9th is asking of you, to root your transformation, not just feel it. Being alone on a day like this may sound harmless. After all, solitude has taught you so much. But solitude is not the same as avoidance. On anchoring days like this one, being seen is not optional, it's sacred. You are not being asked to perform or socialize beyond your means. You're being asked to exist in the world as your true self long enough for the energy around you to respond. For at least 4 continuous hours, step into spaces that invite connection: a cafe, a bookstore, a quiet but present gathering, a walk in the park. These are not random places. They are soft containers where frequency can settle and reflect. And don't disappear in the crowd. That's the gentle challenge. Interact in small ways that allow others to notice the shift in you. It doesn't have to be dramatic. Eye contact, a genuine smile, a warm hello, these are not just social pleasantries. They are energetic mirrors, and each one is a reflection saying, yes, you're real. I feel you. You've changed. That feedback, however subtle, anchors the new reality you're stepping into. Think of it like wet cement. What's poured must be pressed into shape before it dries. Your presence in the physical world shapes what your energetic work becomes. Now, some people will unconsciously pull you back into your old identity. This is normal, especially with people who've known you a long time. It doesn't mean they wish you harm. But it does mean they are not yet calibrated to the version of you that has emerged. If you can avoid them on this day, do so lovingly. If not, walk in with quiet clarity. Let your energy speak first. Let your boundaries be firm but graceful. You don't have to explain yourself, just don't abandon the energy you've claimed for the sake of someone else's comfort. Carrying a symbol of your evolution can be a beautiful and anchoring act. Something simple, like a necklace with a star, a nod to the star card that keeps returning for you. Or wear a color that reflects healing and light, soft metallics, like silvery blue or pale gold. These aren't just accessories. They're energetic reminders. They say, I remember who I'm becoming. And when the day comes to a close, don't let it slip by like any other. Give it a gentle ending, a deliberate seal. Write in your journal what you experienced, not just what happened, but how it felt to be alive in this version of you. Light a candle not for ritual's sake, but to mark the moment. Speak this out loud: today I stepped into my highest timeline. I allowed myself to be seen. And I witnessed the world respond. Saying it confirms it not for the universe, but for your own system. The mind needs repetition. The heart needs anchoring. The spirit needs declaration. You're not chasing change anymore. You're living it. You're walking it. And on November 9th, every step you take outside your comfort zone is not just symbolic, it's spiritual architecture. The life you've been calling in has already arrived in blueprint form. Now you're simply laying the bricks, one conscious moment at a time. Libra, if no one has told you this lately, you are the miracle you've been waiting for. Not a fleeting sign in the sky. Not a sudden external rescue. You. Your breath. Your presence. Your willingness to show up, especially on the days when comfort tries to keep you small. November 9th is not about becoming something new overnight, it's about finally recognizing what's been quietly transforming inside of you all along. This isn't just another Sunday. It's the moment where all the invisible work you've done asks to be seen, acknowledged, and mirrored by the world around you. I want you to remember something gentle but true. Your new path doesn't need to be shouted into existence. But it does need to be lived. This is why you can't stay hidden. Not this time. Not when the energy has aligned so precisely for you to be witnessed. To be felt. To be reflected. All the inner upgrades you've been embodying deserve to take form. And for that, you must allow the world to meet the version of you that has been quietly blooming behind the scenes. Take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I choosing today? The known, familiar rhythm of my old self? Or the uncertain, thrilling pulse of a higher timeline that's finally calling my name? What if everything you've been praying for, journaling about, visualizing, what if it's standing right outside the door, just waiting for you to open it with your presence? You don't have to do it perfectly. You don't have to make a big announcement. You only need to say yes. Yes to showing up. Yes to being seen. Yes to letting your life reflect back to you that something has truly shifted. Because it has. And even if the world hasn't mirrored it yet, it will. That's the point of today. That's the gift of this anchoring. So now, Libra, I invite you to follow through. Take the steps you know are yours. Go where the energy flows. Make space for magic to land. And if you feel resistance, let that be your sign that you're on the edge of real movement. That you're no longer rehearsing the future, you're entering it. If this message resonated, if it landed somewhere deep within you, then I believe you were meant to hear it. So let me ask you, and don't overthink the answer. Have you felt any signs lately that you're being pulled into a new reality? Who do you think you're meant to meet on November 9th? And what will you wear that day to embody the version of you who's ready to rise? Share your answers in the comments. This isn't just engagement, it's anchoring. It's declaring, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm participating. And those declarations, however small, carry real weight in this frequency shift. Before we close, let me take a moment to say thank you. Truly. For your presence. For your openness. For your energy. Every like, every comment, every subscription you choose to give here helps us expand this sacred space we're building at Zodiac Whisper Tarot, where we don't just talk about destiny. We activate it, together. So if this video found you at the perfect time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone you feel needs this light. And Libra, trust me when I say this, stay with this energy until the very end. Something extraordinary is unfolding, and I believe it has your name written all over it.